Hello, I'm Father Joe Roesch of the Marian Fathers of the Immaculate Conception. Thank you for joining us as we continue our year-long journey reading the diary of St. Maria Faustina Kowalska from beginning to end. Today we'll read a letter from St. Faustina to Father Sopoćko dated the 25th of March, 1936. Warsaw, 23rd March, 1936. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Reverend Father, I would like to share with you what I experience and what I discussed with Mother General. In the evening, before leaving Vilnius, during benediction, I communed with God the Father for a brief while. Suddenly, an extraordinary power took hold of me, and I felt like a child in its father's arms. Then I heard the words, "Do not be afraid, my daughter. All enemies will be shattered at my feet." At these words, an extraordinary peace entered my soul. When I arrived in Warsaw, I heard in my soul that I should tell Mother General some of these things. I told Mother General these things of which I could speak, and that I already intended to leave the congregation. Mother General replied that, at the moment, it was God's will that I should remain here in this congregation, and she further told me that everything strengthens her in the conviction that this is God's work, and that Jesus wants souls to come to know his merciful heart. This assures me that maybe God demands this, but as regards this new congregation, I should not yet hurry, as Mother General told me. You should not be surprised, Father, that I shared some things with Mother General. She can be trusted, as she is a soul pervaded with divine light and loves God very much. If you happen to meet her, you can freely talk to her. She herself warned me about some superiors and instructed me how to proceed. And as regards writing to you, Father, she gave me permission to seal my letters and receive sealed letters from you without anyone's control at all. So you can freely write whatever you like, and if any circumstances arise regarding this congregation, you can even write directly to Mother General about it, because she is a soul who loves God very much, and she is not surprised by anything. Whereas the fact that things move forward so slowly is a good thing, for, as Mother General told me, if it is truly the work of God, Satan will not sleep, but will try to make things difficult for you, sister. Mother General received me with the greatest kindness, like a true mother. I am very sorry that I am writing so much about her, but really, she is an angel of goodness. And now, I kindly ask you to take care of your health, Father, as you look haggard and gaunt. Please give my respects to Father Korchik. I am very happy that you are friendly with him. I got to know this priest interiorly, and I know how dear he is to God's heart. That is why I am very happy that you remain in friendship with him. As regards me, I ought to mention that I am going to Wallendorf for 6 weeks, and after 6 weeks there, I'm going to Krakow for good, so I will not return to Vilnius. In all this I abandon myself to the will of God, and I shall not do anything on my own without first informing you, Father. Now, I understand better that one has to act slowly and with patience. I see that now God is beginning to act. I will finish this note, and I apologize for my awkwardness in writing. I kiss your hand, Father, and ask your blessing. Your daughter in God, Sister M. Faustina. Address, Warsaw, 39 Zitnia Street, Wallendorf. This is the best address. The Letters of St. Faustina is a wonderful little book put out by the Misericordia Publications of the Congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy. That is the religious community that St. Faustina belonged to. This book, The Letters of St. Faustina, can be found on Amazon, and it can also be found on the website of the congregation, www.saint-faustina.com. Faustina.org. It contains letters between St. Faustina and Father Sopoćko. There is also a letter to Father Andras, and there are other letters to members of her religious congregation and to her family and her friends. In her letters to Father Sopoćko and Father Andras, and in some cases to Mother General, she could be open about her mystical experiences, completely with the priests and not as much with the Mother General. In all other letters, she wouldn't mention that part of her life. In this letter, St. Faustina is writing to Father Sopoćko, who is in Vilnius, while she was in Warsaw for a few days before moving to another convent. She recounts some of the things that she had also written about in her diary, in order to let her spiritual director know what was going on in her spiritual life. She tells of a conversation that she had had with the Mother General, who cautions her to take things slowly regarding the new congregation. The Mother General wants to be very certain that Faustina discerns very well God's will. There was a practice in Faustina's convent of the sisters writing a letter and then handing it to the superior in an unsealed envelope. The superior could then read the letter and decide whether it should be sent or not. This was real obedience. Here, the Mother General gives Faustina permission to send a letter in a sealed envelope to maintain her privacy because of the delicate nature of her apparitions. The local superior would not check her outgoing or ingoing mail. There was also a case there she could send a letter through the Mother General. Now, I've mentioned before in the podcasts that religious need to speak to their superior about matters in the external forum. This involves their religious life, their religious vows, their external relations with the other sisters, etc. Things on the internal forum, matters of conscience and matters regarding our spiritual life and our interior life, these should be left to the confessor and the spiritual director. And sometimes Faustina had difficulties when she shared things with the superiors, and they began to involve themselves in matters of her interior life. It's very interesting to read of Faustina's concern for Father Sopoćko's health, and she writes to him a bit like a mother. I'm worried about your gaunt and haggard look. She also was being moved to Krakow, and she knew that it was going to be for good because she would end up dying in that convent in Krakow 2 years later. So she had to surrender everything to God's will. She was sorry to be leaving Father Sopoćko. She didn't know how God would work it out. She was able to stay in touch with him through letters, and he did visit her before she died, at least once. But God arranges everything, and so it's a lesson for us to surrender everything of our lives into God's hands and trust.